Hi there, this is Alison from Freddie Loves Crochet with another stitch tutorial today. We're going to have a look at foundation chains or foundation stitches, and today I'm going to focus on the single crochet one in US terms, which is a double crochet in the UK. Once you've got one done, they're all they follow the same pattern, so once you've done one you can carry on and do other stitches with it. So what a foundation stitch is, it's instead of doing a foundation chain and then chaining and then doing your stitches back along for your first row, this incorporates both a chain, which is my chain is at the bottom here, and the first row of stitches all in the same all at the same time, so all within the same stitch. So it's got several advantages. A chain along the bottom can often be quite tight and not have much give in it. So this it's a lot stretchier, so it's really good for like clothing and things where you don't want to have a really tight first row, or chain row. Secondly, it's really handy, especially if you've got to do lots of chains. And then you get to the end and you think you've got them out the right amount and you crochet back along, and then you find out that you had the wrong amount of chains. So it's really good because you can count your chains and your first row at the same time. And it's easy to add some on when you get to the end or take some off. So it makes it a bit easier, and it's just always quite fun to learn something new. It's quite good to be able to sort of time save a little bit as well. So this is a little example of a single crochet foundation stitch, and I'm going to show you now how to do that. First of all, we start with a slip knot. Okay, and then we are going to start with a traditional couple of little chains, so just 2 chains, 1 and 2. So we're gonna now, normally you work in crochet, if you're right-handed, you work from the right along the left, but I want you to think of this now as kind of from top to bottom vertical, so we're going to go that way as opposed to going across like that. It helps you see where the stitches are a bit better. So in the very first chain we're going to work now, but instead of just putting your hook in there where you've got 1 loop, each chain is actually made up of 3 loops in total, and I want you to insert it through 2, so that, and this is aimed at right-handed people, just reverse everything if you're left-handed, so that you have 2 loops, can you see there, of that chain on the hook, and then and that's on over to the left side. Then on the right side you have that 1 loop left there. So like I say, each chain is made up of 3 loops, so you want to have 2 on the left side of your hook and 1 loop on the right side of your hook. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through that. Okay, so that's got us going from there. So we now are going to work our first chain before we do our first single crochet. So we yarn over and just pull through that first loop. That's your first chain made, and now using these 2 stitches we're going to make a single crochet. So yarn over and pull through both loops. So you've got a chain at the bottom there and you've got a single crochet here. Now for your next stitch, I want you to put your hook in. This here is where the chain from that we've just done is, and I want you to put your hook in so that again you get both of those loops. So you've got 2 loops there, can you see? I've got those 2 loops on that side of my hook. Yarn over, pull through. Okay, so now we do our chain. So yarn over, pull through that 1 stitch. That's your first chain done. And then yarn over and pull through both loops. That's your single crochet done. So these are your chains here, these are your single crochets here. And you can see where you put your next stitch. So this is your single crochet where you've worked. Your next stitch is always going to go here in this longer chain stitch there. And you can see a tiny little bit of daylight through it there, and that's where you're aiming to put your hook. So making sure that you've got 2 loops on your hook there, yarn over, pull it through. And so now we do our first chain, yarn over and just through 1. And now we do our single crochet, yarn over, through 2. Okay, you can sort of see the chains there and the single crochets there as it grows. So do a few more. So like I say, your hook is going to go here where this chain is. So hook in here, making sure you've got 2 loops. Not sure I did that. Nope, there we go. Try again. Can be a bit tricky at first, this, and a bit slow, but once you get into the rhythm of it, it can make things a bit quicker. There we go. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and just through that first one, there's the chain, and then through both, there is the single crochet. And again, making sure we've got 2 loops from that chain on our hook. Yarn over, pull through, and then our chain is just through there. Yarn over, pull through 2, the second chain there. And there, I'll do one more. Sorry, I've gone off the screen a bit there. There we go, yarn over, through 2, through 1, and then yarn over, through 2. And there you have your, put that down, so you've got your chain underneath here and you've got your single crochets along there. So it would count, if your pattern doesn't tell you to do a foundation row, you can still do one if you want to, but you would have to make sure that you count this as your first row as well. So if your pattern says to chain 20 and then go back and single crochet along your chain, this would count as that in your pattern, so make sure that you account for that. And there you have it. There is your single crochet foundation chain. If you found this video useful, please hit subscribe for more tutorials coming up soon. Thank you.